Every time. Every time. It never fails. Every time. I love it. It's something I enjoy. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Four Letter Nerd, brought to you by High Road Geeks Unlimited. And today we've got a very good show for you. Yes, we're doing horror film. Ooh, why am I doing that? Why am I? I don't know. I'm doing that. I did that. It happened. Anyway, we're doing horror for the month of October. And this episode, we're doing OG films versus their remakes. Some of you may come to find that, hey, I didn't know that was a remake. You shall now be educated. Which is better? Which is worse? We're going to find out. And with me, as always, well, not always, unless they catch the Rona again, ladies and gentlemen, my wonderful producer and co-host, Dr. Michael Mayhem Myers. Ding, 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 ding.
I just want to say that everybody has been throwing me shade and I don't appreciate it, okay? You ain't stuff, okay? You ain't stuff. That's all I'm going to say.
It happens. It's okay. It's the Rona. Everyone's going to catch it. It's
back,
okay.
Baby.
That's right. He's back. And with us, as always, are the calm one in the storm, in the sea of madness that is the other nerds of this group.
That's what we're
The
going
one
with.
that anchors us and brings us back to sanity. Lady Sid and I.
Hi. Nice
What?
to be here.
Hi.
She's the calming one.
Okay.
And then
I'm just trying to live into that lie of an intro.
Look, if I'm hosting, you getting this intro. That's all there is to it.
Sir.
You getting this intro.
I was trying to play the part.
That's right. Because Mr. Burgee is all important with his Rhode Island Comic-Con 10th anniversary. Can't be here.
Oh, this man is spinning the block. He's out here just throwing random shots.
I'm just saying people know what's going on in our lives.
Okay.
Got stuff going on. It's important.
Pew, pew, pew.
I understand, but still, we miss him. I got to give him crap. But we have a special guest, someone that is special to me. He's one of my best friends.
Ooh.
Like I explained to them earlier, the reason that I am the extrovert that I am, and yeah, y'all can thank him for that later. It's my best friend, Eric Vondaga Lopez.
Yay.
Hello, Vondaga.
Hello.
Welcome, sir.
Willkommen.
Is it
Willkommen.
Vondaga or is it Wandaga?
Vaughn.
Vaughn, okay.
I stole the name from a guitarist for the Misfits and Sam Hain. His name was Evil Vaughn. And then I had a friend whose son's nickname was Dagger. So I just shoved Vaughn Dagger together.
Okay.
Very
All right,
nice,
I like it.
Very nice. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm not picking
Well,
up
welcome to
Reggie's
the show,
audio.
sir.
You're not picking up what Reggie's saying?
Yeah.
Reggie, say
Do I need to
something.
crank my audio?
Yeah, I ain't picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah,
my soul brother. I'm just saying.
Points.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Fans, can you hear me? Who can hear me? Do I
Well,
need to
Greg,
get
I feel like can hear
louder?
you because he was talking about the chaos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everybody else seems to be understanding what he's saying. I'm just picking up pantomime.
That figures. Your best friend is out here ignoring you. Amazing. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the best friend combo of all time.
I mean,
Mm.
I'm this way with all my best friends. So this
He's
is just
like,
one.
I
Imagine
don't
when
hear
all
you.
of us get together.
I like how we're supposed to talk about horror and now we're talking about best friends. Can I be
My
your best friend?
Once again,
Shout out to Nairi.
That's right. Shout out to the rest of the crew. Yeah.
Why can I not hear him?
Oh,
So
so
no.
it may be if you have a 2.5 millimeter pin, you may need to push it in because sometimes it's out sometimes and you can't hear everything. He might be the background noise or something could be unplugged.
Let's see.
Making sure everything is.
What a wonderful broadcast brought to you by High Road Geeks Unlimited.
How are you
Thank you
hearing
for
him?
watching. We're having technical difficulties.
How are you hearing him? Where's your audio coming from? A speaker?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I don't hear myself.
Huh.
There's no
I
echo.
don't hear me either.
Right.
I
Yeah.
hear. Well, yeah, I don't hear me either. I mean, I hear me
Right.
in my head.
Wow, this is a mystery. A horror mystery.
Yeah,
Will
because
we
I have my
survive?
Boya microphone connected to my my iPhone, and I just have that connected as my primary monitor.
Mm.
Huh. Okay.
So while they're figuring that out, I just want to direct your attention to the Fallen Nerd, which is constantly broadcasting in the background on my monitor. You can definitely find us on Twitch. It's self-plug. Self-plug. All right, cool. Just wanted to do that. Also, this fit. Look at the fit.
Look out.
Move out, microphone. You in the way. Oh.
It's like Gangsta Mickey.
All right, that's
Got that knitted on the cap.
That's all I wanted to do. All right, I guess let's get to today's show somehow, some way.
Well, now that we're done with our plugging of items and ourselves, who would like to go first?
You're the host. You pick.
Yeah, fam. I thought it was you.
Ooh, wait, I can do this. Watch this. Let me show you how geeky I'm about to decide this. Hold up.
Goodness.
I'm about to do this.
Do you have like a little Ouija board, a spinning?
Ooh, are you gonna roll a D20?
Yes. There's my D4.
How do we get here? 6 minutes into this, how do we get here?
However we got here, I am here for it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
roll
the D4 of destiny.
Roll for initiative.
Ooh, I could do that. But no, we're not rolling for initiative. I got enough D6s to do that, but we're going to roll the handy dandy D4.
Okay, here we go.
Number 4
goes first.
Mr. Lopez. You shall be our first presenter of the evening.
Get your feet wet.
All right. So yeah, as far as how should I start this off? Just my two movies that I picked, or
you just start off by letting us know how you got to the choices.
I can't
that you
hear
made.
you, Reggie.
Oh, so now I'll speak for Reggie. Here we go. So I've become the host, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Mayhem Myers. Unfortunately, Reggie can't be heard by our guest, which is something we'll work on next time. So, Vaughn, what we normally do, right, Mr. Von Dagger, excuse me, is we start talking about the first movie we want to present. At that point, the gentleman over there named Candyman will out here put the graphic on and we'll talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Candyman, excuse me. So then you could go a little bit more about that, and as well as the remake afterwards, and then keep going forward and forward. All right?
Okay, yeah. As far as I guess the first one would probably be the more popular one would be The Thing. That is easily.
We were just talking about this. Nosferatu.
Nosferatu would be my other one, but The Thing. A lot of people that I know, like, they don't realize that it was a remake of A Thing from Another Planet or A Thing from Another World.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which the structure of the story is essentially the same. It's mostly, and the context of the film, which is really interesting because the original was during the Red Scare. That was the other. That was the thing. That was the they. That was the them. And when you get into the new one with John Carpenter's, at that time, because the AIDS become more prevalent in society, the idea that they're using the context of something that may be in you, infecting you and killing you that you don't even know that you have.
Right.
Those two films in their own context, in their own time, are absolutely brilliant. And you could honestly just switch out as far as, the actual problem that they're dealing with, that they can use the film for as far as like a proper mirror to society and show it on them.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit? Can you tell us the general conception for The Thing? Because there are some people to this day that haven't seen it, may seen it.
Okay.
They haven't seen
so
it.
Essentially, it's a very basic story. The premise starts off with a bunch of scientists in Antarctica doing their research thing, and all of a sudden, this Malamute dog shows up, and from the Malamute dog, questions just spin out of control to the point where everybody questions each other. Who's the thing? Who isn't the thing? What's the thing want? What's the thing doing? And it's really cool that it's scientists in the movie because they approach it in a very scientific way. That's the one thing I do love about the cast is there's not one person that, Kurt Russell shines over most, but all the input from the cast, everybody seems to be a strong point. Nobody's that classic, oh, Herberty science, I don't know about this, to your usual guy that's just like, oh shucks, I don't want to have nothing to do with this. You guys take care of it. No, everybody's fully invested because their lives are at hand.
So compared to the original, this is the remake, correct?
Yes.
So compared to the original, which one is better, would you say? Is this one better, the one that's starring Kurt Russell, or the original?
The original is very interesting from not really a it's mostly just a nice time capsule of how not to do stunts. They were throwing like live gasoline on the set to get this fire effect that's in the movie when the guy gets caught on fire and the whole crew loses it and everybody's on the couch tied up. And that was like obviously a controlled fire. Right. There's a scene in that one where they're throwing fire and like there's this lady using like this mattress or something to block the fire. The real fire from hitting them. Like a red flag of, oh, well, I'm glad we got past those days. I'm glad we're beyond that.
So I remember seeing this movie as a young man, and I love this movie. It's funny because you look at some of the graphics, they are outdated as far as like scaring wise, but they made an impact. In fact, one of the scenes you've heard about is the famous stomach scene.
Right?
Right off the bat, everybody's like, yeah, like that's the one where he goes to defibrillate, and then there's a mouth. Yeah. This is definitely one of those movies you want to pay attention to because when you hear it, it's so simple, it can kind of go over, but it's a little technical. There's an alien that comes to Earth and it's frozen. I forgot where, whatever frozen part of the world it is.
Antarctica.
It is Antarctica. Okay. Yep. So it's frozen in Antarctica. They unearth it. Now there's a separate movie that shows the original scientific team that unearthed it, right? And what happened to them. That came out
2011.
2011, yes, that came, and everybody thought, "Oh, it's a remake." No, it's the second part. It's technically the prequel that we never got. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So everybody at the beginning of the movie had seen the Norwegian. They're like, "What the hell is he shooting at that dog for?" I don't.
Why is he shooting at the dog?
I don't like the character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't like Norwegians now. And then that's just there. Fergie,
that red scare, huh?
And yeah,
hi, J-Bo.
Hey, J-Bo. So. Then the movie literally starts off with the dog being chased and shot at. The dog's infected with the alien. And all I'm going to say is to make it simple for those, so you don't have to necessarily Google it. Once this alien infects its host, it mimics its host. But any part that it breaks off can turn into its own alien. So just look at a human being. You have a head, 2 arms, you have 2 legs, right? If the leg broke off, right? Technically, it can spawn another 5. And that 5 somewhere can spawn another 5 or any appendage. And that's just appendages and whatnot. It was so amazing. Kurt Russell was amazing. The ending is highly debated to this day, but it's amazing. They're never gonna do us. They're never gonna bring back a Thing 3 technically or 2, but it was amazing. I definitely implore everybody, go watch this film.
If you haven't seen it, you need to. This is the quintessential
go see it just cause
horror.
Yeah, and these
you can't get away.
You cannot get away too. The tempo of the film always has you on your toes. Always, you never get a chance to be on your heels. I love it for that reason alone.
Yes, 100%. Oh man, there's so many things. This was a great pick.
Run, you're stuck. Yeah, because if you go outside, you die. You die.
I think one of the best things about this movie is the horror is finding out that who's infected and who's not. And that's a real life thing when it comes to the world. You know, with like I had Corona, like that's a very, scary thing, especially to who I'm surrounded by. You know what I'm saying? So obviously when this was made, like he said, like Eric Von Dagger said, it was like the AIDS epidemic, the Red Scare, and all these different things. Like nobody wants to go to the doctor and be like, all right, run a blood test and let me know what's up. And even though you may be like, I haven't been doing anything, still, there's that brief horror for results. Even being pregnant, for certain women and men as well, just these things. So you can imagine the horror plays. I love movies like this that don't necessarily rely on gore and killing. It's the psychology of it all. Don't get me wrong. The graphics are a little dated, but it's still amazing. Definitely go watch this. Great pick, Mr. Von Dagger. Great pick. First time on the show, you get an applause. All right. All right. So I think you're going to move on to the next one. Oh.
Nosferatu. Yeah, Nosferatu. Based on the H.R. Murnau Nosferatu. And Werner Herzog, who's I absolutely loved Werner Herzog and his movies. Ever since I went into film school, like he was one of the first guys between him and Errol Morris that I discovered my first week of film. And Werner Herzog absolutely just comes out firing on all cylinders. And the fact that he had never even seen a TV until he was like 8 or something like that. He was just removed from technology, and then to be fully invested in it. But yeah, his homage to H.R. Murnau's Nosferatu is one, a love letter to German cinema, and then two, it's a equally impressive execution in ambiance and tone and color palette, and having Klaus Kinski, his favorite fiend, playing Nosferatu. He's just absolutely just transforms himself into like this otherworldly being. And if you just didn't know any better, you're like, oh, they found a vampire, which they kind of did in that movie with John Malkovich and Willem Dafoe, Shadow of a Vampire. Ooh. Where that movie was about the filming of the original Murnau film, where Max Schreck plays the original vampire, which is funny because then Max Schreck, they use that name for Christopher Walken in Batman 2. That's his name, Max Schreck, for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
But he was like, Max Schreck played the first vampire, and he was impressive, and then Klaus Kinski was like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when it comes to Nosferatu, I mean, what can be said that hasn't been said about this movie? If you've seen it, you know it's impactful. It's arguably, I don't want to say it was on a budget. It's funny what they do with so little, and that when they kind of give you that full experience, from what I remember, it's still kind of scary. It's kind of like, what? I'm used to
very art house. Very art house.
Yes, so I'm used to seeing Dracula like kind of like this Middle Eastern kind of guy or European guy where he's like suavemente on Tuesday all the time, and then here comes Nosferatu, and I'm just like, they don't see what's going on. Like, what's going on here?
And it's the same with the Bram Stoker's Dracula, that you have this first time tone of, I'm just sick of being alive. I don't want to be alive no more. I've lived for centuries. It's all boring. And that morose, that sort of that love lost, that is just nothing to live for, that just translates so well that when you're going into, which is interesting for me for music, when you're heading into like the new wave and goth, this film just absolutely reeked of it. Like, you could just see this becoming somebody's like, oh, this is my pet film. This sets my tone for everything. Just Right. And yeah, and to see Klaus Kinski's just constant toiling over just existence, and you could just see it in his eyes and his presence and his animalistic nature. Just everything about him is just, he's over it.
Okay. I just want to make sure, is this the original or is this the remake from Bram Stoker?
This is a remake from 1979. Okay, the original was from 1955.
It was black and white and silent.
So, and the original is beautiful, just because it was the German expressionism. So you had him, H.R. Murnau, and most importantly, you had Fritz Lang, really pushing that new visual movement of expressionism. And for them, it was because they had no money. So they built these really expressionist sets, and they ramped up their production to a different element instead of the high cost element. And that's where a lot of your Tim Burton's found their influence with Dr. Caligari.
Yeah.
And so you get this visual, what's the word? Just shakeup of what is standard. And that's another reason why I think the Werner Herzog is presented in a style that is presented in the classic German expressionist style, which I've always loved.
Okay, fair enough. I will say this about Dracula. Technically, when it comes to vampires, when they are portrayed with a type of dilemma within themselves, they're so much more interesting, with the exception of Blade. And that's arguable. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dilemmas and interpersonal connectivities and just questions and just problems that they have with themselves, right? And even in Blade, to an extent, Blade and Blade 2, Blade 3, you don't speak about.
That didn't happen.
But you look, I think something that proves my point is Interview with a Vampire. Oh my God.
Is that
Antonio Banderas, you beautiful motherfucker. You beautiful motherfucker. We just had you on the week before, whatever. Anyway, so you look at that, and that's an amazing point of view when it comes to vampires. Fast forward, we've had, I think some of the better series would be Castlevania animated, obviously, so you can do a little bit more. Yeah. And honestly, Netflix had a really good series. I don't know if it's classified as a series because it's 3 parts, right? It's 3 parts. It's kind of like as long as a movie. And, it was amazing, but how they ended it was trash. How they ended it. I believe everybody knows what I'm talking about, correct?
Yeah,
if not, okay. So I'm on Netflix. I'm going to find out because it's like Dracula, but then instead of like giving it a name, they just put like 2011 or whatever it is. It started off with Dracula, and he's devilish, to say the least. He is all about killing people, making people suffer. Then he moves to like London, and then it's like more on that. And then fast forward to in the future, and he kind of goes through that kind of like interpersonal dilemma you were talking about, where he doesn't necessarily want to live, but then he doesn't necessarily want to die. And then come to find out, one of his biggest weakness isn't a weakness per se. And it was just like, what is going? They ended it. It was great. Episode 1 and 2 was amazing, and then it was just like, well, I don't let a dog bite him, see what happens. But they introduced so many different things with vampires, and let's be real, when it comes to vampires, especially Dracula, there's so many movies, series, and such that is out there. It kind of gets overplayed, but every now and again we get a really good concept, we get a really good scare. And you know what, applause to you again for bringing this up, because this is one of the classics. And I'm going to have to watch all 3 now. Like, seriously.
Very nice. Very nice.
You can't hear Reggie, but he's saying very nice. Very nice. All right. I think with that being said, we're going to move forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez, Mr. Von Dagger. This was an amazing pick. These were amazing picks. Excuse me.
I wore this shirt because it's the ship that brought the vampire to London. Yeah, my friend made this shirt.
That's an amazing shirt, actually.
It's just the Dutch ship, and then it just says "damned" beneath it, and you're like, I got you.
Oh, that, you know what? Not for nothing. That reminded me of Love, Death, and Robots. The last season with
putting sex in there.
Whatever, it's sex in there. And there's that creature from the deep that comes in. I don't know if you guys saw that episode, but we're gonna move forward nonetheless. Eric can't hear Reggie. Yes, he can. Candyman, who's our next speaker?
Well, let me see.
Candyman.
The dice shall decide our fate yet again.
He said the die shall fire off yet again.
It's Mr. Mayhem.
It's me. All right, so we're obviously saving the best for last, so I'll try and do my best. The first up is a 1984 classic. I was born in 1985. I grew up watching this on the WB Friday night and Saturday night movie premiere. I'm always going to reference that. Ladies and gentlemen, when we had TVs and you had to turn to 1, 2, 3 to maybe use the auxiliary, okay, the channels in New York were 5 for Fox, 7, 9 was UPN, ABC was 7. Thanks, baby. 11 was WB. PBS was 13, and I forgot what 2 was, but it had a Freakazoid on it, so I appreciate you guys on Saturdays. So 1984, we had one of our first looks of Johnny Depp in this film. Have you figured it out? I know what it is.
Let's
bring it up, shall we? Nightmare on Elm Street, but not that one. Not that guy. That's the remake. But all right, cool. Is that the remake or am I bugging? That's the remake, yeah, because it's
Yeah, that's the
2008.
Yep, the new Nightmare. Yes.
Yeah. So
I got it out of order. My apologies.
no problem, no problem. So an interesting picture, nonetheless.
You gave me this picture.
No. I
Don't
know,
act
I
like you
did.
didn't give me this picture.
A
You
classic
knew what you was
scene.
doing.
A classic scene. Listen, when I saw this film on Nightmare on Elm Street, I was like, why doesn't anybody just leave the goddamn town? Just leave the town, because he only exists in this town. And if you believe in him, he gets stronger. You can't stop people from not believing because they'll believe long. Just leave. And he's going after the teens. This was a classic scene of her falling asleep in the tub, and Freddy's just like, then. I think we have like 2 more. Can we show those really quickly?
Yes.
Who can forget the crop top? Oh, this one right here with the elongated arms. This was just weird.
That one was so creepy. It was creepy.
But it made sense for this movie. And I think we got one more. I just want to yes, come on. I think this right here is the best scene. Like dies, and then the blood shoots out from the blood onto the roof. And half the time you're wondering, like, is nobody else seeing this? Like,
right?
Like if his parents were to come in the room, because you know you were a kid, and you're like, my parents are always in my room, they wouldn't see this. An amazing film. Originally wasn't supposed to be any type of sequels. It was just a one and done. And you can kind of tell it was done that way. It ended in such a way. It was just like, I guess, you know, like, oh damn, I
guess that's what you're gonna do.
You know, I wouldn't. Hopefully I'm saying this. Robert England.
Yep, England.
Mhm.
England. I apologize if I said your name, Robert. You are an amazing figure when it comes to being Freddy Krueger and being in that mask. So much so they used him in Stranger Things for Vecna, and his performance is always great. I don't know how he does it, but it's always amazing. Everybody saw this, was amazing. It was amazing. It was a big hit.
Every actor probably has that one role that when they find it, that is like their role. So for Robert, that was Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr., that's Tony Stark. Captain Jack Sparrow. You know, these roles, like, you can't see anyone else in these roles. So Johnny Depp, if anyone else tries to be Johnny Depp's Captain Jack, you're just not going to accept it. No matter what Disney does, you're not going to accept. You're like, that is not Captain Jack. Get that trash off my screen. Get it the hell out. No.
So for those that don't know about this classic, I really don't know why you don't know. Pretty much teenager, what was it? Trixie, I think her name was. Whatever. She wakes up from a dream.
Name.
Yeah, whatever. So Freddy Krueger is a dream demon. The stories have changed as to who he was before, and we'll get into that. But apparently he was a psychopath that died in a gruesome, fiery death. And he said, I will haunt all your kids. And everybody was like, yeah, you're dying, you're dead. You don't believe you. And then he started getting people to believe in him, getting stronger, and killing the teenagers. And people were just like, no, it's not him. It's not him. It's kind of like Candyman to an extent. It's like, no, it's not him. It can't be it. And how he kills people was kind of like, yo, like, I'm afraid to go to sleep, you know, like, because what if it's true? Obviously, if you don't live in that town, if you don't know about him, you'll be fine. You know, this was an amazing classical piece. Once again, it came out in 1984. There's been so many sequels. Next one is like Freddy's Revenge, and it was like Dream Warriors, and it was just horrible. But this, all you need to do is see this. And before I move on, does anybody want to comment on this really quickly? Amazing.
This is that horror movie that got it all started for me, because my cousins being my cousins, back when our cable had an actual cable to the remote, they're like, let's watch this. Reggie can watch it. It'll be okay. Yeah, no, it was not okay. It was not okay. So I'm okay now, but yeah, I shouldn't have been watching this as a kid. So to all my cousins, if you ever come across this, I thank you for showing this to me. I was way too young to be watching this when we watched it on HBO. Because, man, yeah.
See, that was me and Candyman.
Yeah.
Both movies.
This movie is when I learned that I laugh when I'm scared.
Yes.
Oh, so I'm over here like, no. That was a very illuminating film for me.
Obviously done by Wes Craven, who was, I don't know, he was at the not even the peak. He was just like really rising.
This was the start of that.
This was like the start of it was amazing. And then we got, please, if we can go forward, the remake. That's not it. Nope. But we'll get to that one. Oh my god, that one. Nightmare on Elm Street. I think I included one picture because it's not even worth seeing. That was by.
No, you didn't give me a picture for this one.
So then it's not even worth seeing. I stand by what I said. Samuel.
He said what he said.
It was directed by Samuel Bayer, and I believe it was written by Wesley Strick.
None of
let me
those
say
sounded
this.
like Wes Craven or Robert England.
You know what? I didn't mind that it was being portrayed by a different person. I didn't mind that they tried to take all the convoluted stories and just be like, this is how it's going to be. I love the idea of it. The execution, it wasn't it. It's like you're playing baseball and the pitcher throws the pitch and then it's strike, but then you swing afterwards. It's like, what happened? It was a disconnection. It didn't work. It made Freddy, they didn't make him scary enough. They just made him disgusting as a person. And I think that took away from, I don't think his performance was bad, actually. I got to look at the actual actor. I don't think his performance as Freddy Krueger was bad. I just think the script wasn't anything he can work with to make better. And unfortunately, it killed anything to come after that. Because after that, this was it. And you know what? And I honestly have to say, I think Freddy Krueger is kind of like one of those cursed things where it's like, you can only do it once. You can only do it once well. Because who's going to be afraid to go to sleep now? You know, like you can't do it. Maybe Jaws. But there's been so many shark movies, right? So this came out, what's this? March 30th, 2010. It was bad, people. Unfortunately, I wish that they kind of come back and do it all over again and make it so much better. It's not necessarily the kills, although the kills and how he killed people, like that bed scene was amazing. Sharknado. Oh my god, music Sharknado. Okay, super scary. I can imagine, right? But I totally lost my train of thought. All I'm gonna say is this was trash. Don't go and see it. Does anybody else want to talk about not Sharknado, but A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010?
All right, so the actor Jack Earl.
Not the 2010 version. Mm-hmm. The opening was so promising. Like the first, maybe 10 minutes of it, I was like, all right, here we go. We're getting some backstory. Mm-hmm. The aesthetic looks nice.
Yep.
And then from there on, it just kind of cut itself down. And I don't know if it was just trying to do too much or if it's a matter of too many chefs in the kitchen sort of thing. But it seemed like the story just kind of went all off the rails. But that first 10 minutes was really nice, though.
So, according to Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has 15% rotten.
Yo, it was. I'm telling you, you have to watch. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it so you can see what we're talking about. In case I missed the mark on this one, don't, ladies tonight, tell you not to. But if you want to hear what I'm talking about, then definitely see it. If not, once again, I think the actor. It wasn't the actor's fault whatsoever. I think how he looked aesthetically looked amazing. How he acted and portrayed was dope. It's just the story, like here's a peanut butter jelly sandwich, but it's manure in it. So it's like it's a manure sandwich. I'm not gonna curse purposely on this one, but it's a manure sandwich. It's not peanut PB&J. Let's move on because I just saw all the latest ones and I'm ready to talk about this one.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So hold on. So if we're gonna do that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, get ready for spoilers for the new Halloween movie.
Halloween came out.
If you've not watched it, be aware.
Beware the scare. Yo, October 30th, 1978, Halloween drop. Jamie Lee Curtis, shout out to you. Here's my deal, okay? I'm ready to go on a Jamie Lee Curtis rant later. Hear me out on that one later. This was amazing. Okay, Michael Myers. He was part of the people that kill you that don't necessarily run. Jason teleported and walked slow. Michael Myers might do a little brisk walk. You know what I'm saying? It was amazing. John Carpenter struck all types of gold. And then the sequels, and that was the problem. The sequels with this was the problem. The sequels, there was one where they tried to explain he was an evil entity. It doesn't matter. So then can we show some scenes from Halloween real quick?
Yes.
Because we before we get into that, amazing scene. I mean, you could tell it's the 70s and 80s. Look at the hair on this guy's mask. Like, come on.
Well, it was William Shatner.
That isn't an 80s
to
shot.
be fair.
Come on. I mean,
Shatner's
come on.
popularity was in the 70s and 80s.
I'm just saying, this looks like this man has never even heard of a comb, and that was a cool thing. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Or maybe a brush with the teeth on it. I don't know what y'all use. Anyway, I'm sorry. My hair is different. I apologize. So there's Halloween, right? And then if we can go forward, show them the other clips so that way they understand what I'm talking about. Classic. Jamie Lee Curtis. I think it's time. And you should know what I'm talking about. And if not, I'll say it later. One more. I think I got one more.
She still needs a paycheck. Leave her alone.
Nope, that was
all right. So there's Rob Zombie, which came out. The first one. Amazing. And then the second one was like, why? Why didn't you just wrap everything up in the first one? And why did you give me this? I didn't deserve this. There's also another one. Did I include that one as well with the Halloween Kills? No, this is Rob Zombie. So Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, brings back Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm going to be honest with you, fam. It's not it. It comes in 3 parts. It's not it. First of all, before I go into that, does anybody want to speak about Rob Zombie's Halloween?
That was awesome.
Didn't watch it.
You could just tell Rob Zombie had been wanting to make this for, like the majority of his life.
Yes.
So the aesthetic and everything, he nailed it. And I think he got it all out, but I don't know what was in his head. He was like, I got a couple more ideas. And they were all kind of half-baked ideas. But that first one, oh, yeah, he absolutely nailed it. And I love that he gets to put his wife always as some kind of crazy, jacked up person. And having her as the mom, that seems perfect.
Let me go really quickly. There's Halloween 1978. There's Halloween 2, 1981. There's Halloween 3 season of...
I got you.
There's the first 2, and then that's it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, you want to include the first 2?
That's first fair. 2, and then
I got you.
Okay, that's fair.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Boom. There you go.
Okay, so there's Halloween. Did you?
I realize now how few of them I've seen. Goodness me!
Right?
Halloween 3, Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers, the revenge is Halloween 5 of Michael Myers, the curse of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O. Remember that? Oh my God!
Hey, LL Cool J didn't die in that movie, so hey, props to the black man not dying first.
I think we saw him briskly walk, in that one. Halloween Resurrection. Then there was Halloween Rob Zombie. Let me tell you about this. I'm just going to add on to what Mr. Lopez says. Mwah. Mwah. The only excuse that I'll accept from Mr. Zombie himself is that they made him put it in 2 parts when he wanted to end it in 1. Because that's the only reason why we got Halloween 2. It to me, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make 2007 if you're looking for it, because they just say Halloween. Halloween 2007 was amazing. It's a classic, if you ask me. Halloween 2 in 2009 took 2 years to give me what? Basura, garbage. So then we do Halloween Returns. Technically, it was a Halloween 2018, right? Directed by David Gordon Green. There's Halloween Returns, Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills. And it's Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Let me tell you something. The first movie had promise. I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't a solid 6, but 6.5, 7. All right, cool. But the way it set it up, for Laurie and everything, and then I realized I wasted money having a subscription for this. Okay. Like, I get that you want to close the story, and how they close it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? They even got the community involved. That's a great idea. But the execution made no sense. Oh my God. I was like, I'm going to beat Michael Myers up. Okay, how Michael Myers killed everyone in a group? Amazing. However, aside from that, come on, man. It was just gore and it didn't make any sense. There's nothing to it. And then they try to make the whole community and I guess maybe cancel culture and how evil spreads. And then Laurie kind of gets the closure. But it's just, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. I still maintain Rob Zombie's Michael Myers in 2009 is probably the best, arguably from the first, I'll admit the first two from 1970 and 1981. Because other than that, I don't understand why. How did they lose focus? And you know what? I'm going to say it here. Jamie Lee Curtis, renowned actress. Probably a great person. I don't know this person. Give it up, fam. These movies they got you in, nah. The Terminator series, nah. The Michael Myers series, Halloween series, nah. Just let it go. Collect that check and go. No more. Because I feel like this is just... Why? Why? If you ask me what's a great... You know what? Let me not go into that. Right? I mean, you know what?
I thought you were going on a rant. What happened? Where'd the rant go?
I don't want to get sued.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't want to get,
okay.
Even though it's a public opinion, I just feel like there's an article that said she was done with Halloween. Yeah, I'd imagine so. It's so horrible. I'd be done with Halloween after this too. Like, geez, come on. You could have had a
Laurie
better
Strode slander that I'm hearing right now.
Have you seen the movie by any chance?
No, and I'm not going to. But that's not my point.
All right, go ahead.
We will not stand for Jamie Lee Curtis slander on this show, okay?
Ooh.
We will not.
Okay, so then I'm going to stand for Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in Terminators, the last Terminators, as well as the Halloween. Her as an actress? No. As a person? No, 100%. But in those two series, basura. Okay?
Ooh.
The last Terminator series that I saw that was dope was when one of his friends was a Terminator and sent him back. I thought that was a dope idea. And then it lost me. But it was pretty dope. I liked where it was going. Remember that guy? He played in Batman and then he went back and he's like, "Where's John?" Yeah, that was basura. Come on, son. Like, get me out of here. Get me out of here with this. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you very much. Did you guys want to comment on any of these Halloween movies?
I've only ever seen 2 out of the 80 that they made.
2 out of the 80?
I've seen 3.
Because, like, once again, horror movies weren't my jam. I watched the first one, like, yo, that's creepy. Why can't they kill this dude? Oh, cool. All right, he's got magic powers, maybe. And then I just read about him, and they got more ridiculous as time went on. I'm like, what is going on here? And next thing you know, he's possessed by a demon. There's a demon inside. Now he's in therapy. And I'm like, what? Okay, I'm glad I didn't follow this because I'd be lost.
Yeah, I saw 1, 2, and 20.
It's like trying to follow fate. Don't try to follow Halloween because it goes like fate. You got the main part, the offshoot of the main part, the other story of the main part, maybe the secondary part of that, which turns into an alternate unit. No, don't.
The comments are going off. I can't find the
But
comments.
if you want to continue Halloween as a series, you just have to play by the rules that you initially set. Don't continue to change them to fit whatever narrative you want to tell. Make a different movie. But once again, we will not stand for Jamie Lee Curtis slander, Dr. Michael Mayhem Myers. And
I mean, look at it. It's in his name now. It's in his name.
Also, Loomis didn't deserve to die like that. That's what I'm going to say. If you watch the movie, you understand. All right.
Thank you, sir, for that.
Thank you. Very good picks. Very good picks.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
very good picks.
Very good picks. Very good picks. They're telling me. Very good picks. All right, we're going to move forward. I'm only taking over because Candyman can't be heard by Eric. Lady Citadel, please tell us your picks for your favorite horror movie films and their remakes.
I would like to preface this that I am not a big horror watcher. We all discussed this, I think last week or the week before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely more of a sci-fi fantasy nerd. However, I did have, and I have specific reasons why I picked these, and I want to say none of these movies are bad. Okay, I want to make that very clear first. It's just something about their remake makes them more watchable for me, and also I like how they modernized it and changed the game a little bit with these remakes. So no, I'm not slandering any film here. Okay. With that said.
Been getting it all over today. All over today.
No, I don't think. Listen, the only thing that I had a problem with was the Jamie Lee Curtis hate. Don't tell the woman to retire. She still has bills to pay. You don't know nothing about her life.
I didn't say retire.
Let her make a living. Let her make
I
a
said
living.
entirely from the series because you know what? It's your turn to speak. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Trash. It's trash.
Reggie, if you please, or Candy
Just-
Main.
There you go.
Okay, this is Dawn of the Dead, probably one of the most rewatchable films for me. But this is not the one that I put down as the which I prefer. I love this movie. I didn't understand it as a kid. It was only when I was older and I realized what the underlying message was that I truly appreciated it for what it is. But the remake, and there's a reason why you're getting the movie poster for this one and a picture from the film for the second one. That shit is frightening. He made them run.
Yes.
He made them run.
Yes.
I do not run. I have a chance in the original Dawn of the Dead. I have no chance here. Hell no. Absolutely not. This frightens the fuck out of me. If it can move fast, I'm done. I'm done.
So on that note, did you see the last one that he did?
No, I did
He
not.
made them think. They can think now.
No. See? Why did you tell me that? Why did you tell me that? Well, actually, that kind of ties in for me to I Am Legend, like the book.
Okay.
And the original there, which might have been a good pick for this because I would have picked the original over the Will Smith version. In that one, they do. It's like humanity's next evolution is for them to become like vampiric. Right. But yeah, that I don't have much to say about this. It's just that changed the game as far as zombies is concerned. When they walk, you still have that bit of hope. You can get into a car, get on a bike, find a horse, whatever. You have a chance. These motherfuckers, yes, I am swearing in this episode, you have no chance. There's no reason why they needed to do this. And the fact that he did this, fuck you, man.
I love the ending of this movie. It just made so much more sense to me that something like that would happen.
Well, you know how my other thing with zombie films is that there's no winning, there's no escaping, and there's no winning. It's just a long game of Temple Run. You keep going as much as you can until you trip over a root, and then you're done. And that's the end of it. So the ending of this film, when they finally get to the place that half of them, well, no, like 3/4 of the group died to get to, only to find more zombies running down that pier at them at the end.
Yes.
I mean, even say it in Portuguese. Vai te fuder for that, okay? Vai te fuder.
I think this was a great remake. I think, honestly.
I would just like to point out I'm the only person that has the word lady at the front of my name, and I swear like a sailor.
Well, I'm a doctor. Is there a doctor in the house?
So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you, Candy Mine.
Von Dagger, did you want to maybe expand on that?
Yeah, if anyone wants to chime in, please.
Yeah, I do enjoy this.
Yeah, I'd have to say that was that between that one and the 28 days later, where they're like, if they could run, that just ramped it all up. And yeah, that definitely is a game changer. Zombies that are, there's just like in slow-mo, cool. We have time to make plans.
Right.
But
we can have dinner.
Yeah, exactly. You could in fact get like one like measured out, even like from like Shaun of the Dead. He figures out that moving slow is like to their advantage. That once they're like, no, they can run, and you're like, no, game over. I can't do that.
That's done. Like I love Shaun of the Dead, probably one of my probably the favorite zombie movie of mine. But you have a chance. It's actually the way that they domesticate them in the end and have them doing service work is brilliant. What are you gonna do with that? Nothing.
God ablaze. I agree.
I'm
Wait,
gonna turn that bullet on me first. I'm not wasting all that energy if I'm
nah,
just
I'm
gonna die in
taking
the
some
end
with me.
anyway.
I'm taking some. Wait, is this the scene where there was a chainsaw accident?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, chainsaw.
Yes.
That's why only one bus gets through. Yes.
Yo, let me just say this. I have no problem sacrificing my dumb teammates. No problem. I know we all panic and what. Oh my god, this was amazing. This was an amazing thing. Okay, last thing I'll say. Was there a zombie birth in this one?
There was.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
That
In
was
the
stupid.
mall, yes.
In the mall, that was stupid. But
no,
all right,
okay.
yeah.
When I saw this, my son was, I think, 2 or 3 months old, and I started crying.
That's not funny.
No, it is funny. It was back then. I was like, oh my god, a zombie baby. And that was hormones, ladies and gentlemen. That was hormones. But yes, there was a zombie baby. I think Omar Epps was the father of that zombie baby. Am I correct?
Yes.
Was it Omar Epps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it?
Possibly?
No, I don't think so.
We have to look that up.
If
We have
I'm
to look that
wrong, I apologize.
it's been a while.
But I
think
definitely would be the person that would be like, yeah, let's make a plan, and then like immediately trip on air and axe myself in the face. So that I'm done. I'm 100% done when they start running. So that to me frightened me more than anything else, that they could move that fast.
If I had to choose between these zombies and 28 days later zombies, I would choose these zombies. I think these I'd have a slight, like a
better
slight
chance.
1%
Like,
chance.
for
28 days
me-
later are violent and angry.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree with that. Also, I would never have left the mall.
Facts. Facts.
Right?
Like build.
I would not have
underground
left the mall.
to like the gun shop, and that's it.
I'm sure that there was some kind of way that they could have gotten to the gun shop without going the way that they did. There has to. I'm sure they could have figured something out.
They just didn't.
But the fact is, they had everything that they needed there, and they could have like kept a message on the roof.
Yep.
They had food, they had shelter, they had clothing, they had plumbing, they had electricity, everything that they needed to stay alive as long as they wanted. This move,
just to go to
and
an
just
island
to,
that
so
may
that
have
are
something.
that no, and to have them overrun at the end
at the pier, exactly.
It makes me so mad. This is why I don't watch zombie stuff. Made
Bad
me so
decisions
mad.
all around.
All of that for nothing. Expending all that energy for nothing. No, thank you.
Okay, fair enough. I can't knock you for that.
I like boring, Rayanne. I like boring.
All right, I think.
Okay.
Good.
This is the original 13 Ghosts, another film that did not scare me. So we're getting a theme here. But I enjoyed it. It had really good actors. The story that they were trying to tell in was a good one. No hate there. Good movie. However, the remake.
Next slide.
I
please.
laughed at this one more than anything.
But you know what? That's why I said I don't watch a lot of horror. So for me, it's just entertainment value. I don't, like I said, I don't like to be scared. I especially get into my head late at night, and things that are not scary will become scary to me.
Okay.
Like the dumbest things. However, this is an all-star cast, and they put every single one of them put their whole ussy into their role. And I can't hate them for that.
The whole ussy? The whole
thing.
They didn't half ussy it. They whole ussied.
That is going to be my new thing.
So say what you want to say about whether it is a good or bad movie. I'm not going to argue that here. What I am saying is between the two, this was definitely the most rewatchable for me. There were actually parts that I thought were sweet with Tony Shalhoub and his wife, with her burn victim stuff, and how not all the ghosts were bad ghosts. So that gave me hope that I would survive this. But that is why I chose this as a preference over the original 13 Ghosts, because just the production value and the level of acting that was brought by these people working with questionable material was something that I enjoyed. Now go ahead, Dr. Ossie Myers. Let's hear you.
Oh my God, no.
He did it. I didn't do that.
Listen, you know what?
I don't retype.
this. Oh, I see what you did there. That's some shade. That is some shade. You are a phantasm yourself. You know that? You are a ghost yourself today. I'm gonna
What?
throw in the shade. Nah, I love you.
I didn't say anything. I was not throwing shade. I think you are.
Mhm.
I think you're projecting. I'm not throwing shade. I swear to God,
No
I'm
projection.
not.
Astral projection. Listen, this movie was amazing. I remember watching it. It was funny. I have to agree. I think it was Candyman who said it. I laughed more with this one.
Yeah.
I laughed more with it. Definitely, it wasn't fully scared. It's considered horror. You got to understand that WB Friday Night and Saturday Night movie it set the precedence. The only movie to have scared me to this day, with the exception of Devil. M Night Shyamalan. I forgot to say his name. I apologize. So M Night's version, which was amazing because it made me think, was Candyman. I saw that movie when I was like 10. 1, 2, and then my dad and I went to the video store. We had VHS tapes back then, kids. Got the third one. I didn't sleep for weeks. Okay. Ask me if I've said Candyman in the mirror yet.
Have you said Candyman?
Of course
in the mirror
not.
yet?
No. I don't care. I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't care what's happening. I'm not doing it. This was an amazing movie. I thought this is a really good addition. So I got no qualms with it, Miss Sid and I think you have an amazing pick. I still would choose your previous zombies over 28 ones, 28 days later.
Yeah, I agree. But I was trying to stick remake for remake. And it was harder than I thought it was going to be because I haven't watched too many of the originals, the remakes, if they came out, not unless they were in wide rotation. I just happened to catch the original 13 Ghosts, I think on like Pluto or Tubi TV.
Okay.
So when we were doing this episode, I'm like, oh, okay, I've seen both, but definitely for rewatchability, this one is just entertaining for me. And it is one of the horror movies that I can watch that I know is not going to fuck with me later.
So I'm going to ask this really
It's
quick.
an important distinction for me.
We do have some time. Candyman.
Wait, I have an honorable mention.
Oh, you have an honorable mention?
She has an
Oh,
honorable
excuse me.
mention.
I thought you were finished. I apologize. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Yeah, she's the only one with one this time.
She's the only one with one?
Well, because I knew that my picks were going to be like, compared to what everyone else is, because everyone else seems to enjoy it more, or at least be more into movies on like a visceral level than I am, where I'm like more just entertainment. So even though Reggie's not a big horror fan, he deep dives into things, so I knew he'd have some good stuff. So here is Dracula with Bela Lugosi, something that I watched in high school, and they didn't have, as you know, these movies did not have background music like what we have now, so it would be someone in the theater playing the piano while this was playing. So we watched it without any music, and just like every 10 minutes or so he'd pull into frame and just
be there
with his eyes like bugging out, and I was over here like, this is ridiculous. But
it was back then. Come on.
I was a teenager. As an adult, I appreciate what he did when he did it more. But Eric mentioned this film earlier, and I believe you did, Dr. O.C. Myers, as well. If we can move ahead one, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
Definitely high up on my list of watchability. You have an amazing cast. And I'm not going to use the word again because I think I've hemmed us out, but they really put their whole heart into this. And one of my favorite actors, Gary Oldman as Dracula, was just everything. In every scene, you knew he was not someone that you wanted to spend time with, but at the same time you couldn't help but fall a little bit in love with the misery and the hopelessness that he was feeling until he saw Mina, and the love that he had for his wife, who's reimagined as Winona Ryder, who put in probably one of her best performances. She's so beautiful in this film. But even with the fashion and how they did Lucy's wedding dress and her burial thing, like everything about this film is so beautiful and so thoughtful. All the little pieces that move around it really makes it one of my most favorite movies of all time, which is weird because this doesn't really fall into, I guess it kind of is fantasy. Definitely not sci-fi.
No.
But I loved it so much so that for my high school prom, I dressed like Mina. I had my hair done like her and everything because it was so impactful to me, like the fashion and the look and the feel of this film. And there's something really romantic about it. And I'm not normally one that watches things for like romance factors, but the film is just so well made that I had to put it in here, even though it wasn't technically the Dracula, the Bela Lugosi Dracula, and this weren't an exact remake.
Mm.
It's okay. It's okay. Fun fact about the Bram Stoker's one. Technically, Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder are legally married in Romania.
They did get married.
So
And I
this-
didn't even hate the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Mina Harker.
no.
It
Okay.
was nice to
Okay.
see her.
Okay. Because I hated that movie. I'm sorry. I just
I
had to
didn't
process. I'm
say
sorry.
I didn't say I liked the movie.
Yeah,
The
no,
character Mina Harker.
I had to process.
I want to make that
apologize.
very clear.
She's like, there's
Her.
a distinction that I am making.
Trash.
Please hear it.
But the woman who played Mina Harker in that film was in Nikita.
Oh,
yes.
the film Nikita. The OG film. Or
Yeah,
the
the OG TV series.
Okay.
La Femme Nikita.
Yes, the
Yes.
film Nikita. Great
Oh.
actress.
So I just want to say this before we have to head out because my manager's like, wrap it up, B. When it comes to horror walks a very fine line. You know, it's either a thriller or it's an action film. You know, it's one of those weird things. But when it gets it right, it's an amazing thing. Now we're all adults, so the element of, to an extent, of surprise, it's unless it's jump scares or it's something that messes with us that we personally have, is very, very limited. You know, it has to hit us on a psychological level. It caught me early because I still can't say Candyman in the mirror, even though I got all these monitors. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it does what it does for a lot of cultures, and just understand sometimes you got to be a little bit more forgiving with horror, and I can understand it. That said, dear God, no more Halloween movies. Dear God, please, no more Halloween. And if you do Dracula right, please just give it like another 2 years. Another 2 years. We've had so many series. There was that series with the parasites in New York, with the worm and all this other stuff. Even Resident Evil had that to an extent. I'll look it up. It's another thing. All I'm saying is these were great.
I'm drawing a blank. Thank you.
You said what?
I said I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, no worries. So with that being said, this was great picks by everybody. I'm going to let Reggie close this out as he did bring us in. And even though our guest Eric Von Dagger couldn't hear him, I just decided to be his, I don't even know. What am I his partner? Am I his like translator? Even though you can't hear him?
You're like a soothsayer.
A soothsayer. The strain. Yes, the strain. That was it. I mean, oh man. So here's hoping that producers, writers who actually have more concrete new ideas on how to bring horror and not just action and people just doing things like Busta Rhymes out here. Out here doing karate chops to Jason.
Oh my God.
I mean, I want it though. You know, just to kind of make us more afraid. The last Dawn of the Dead series was in Las Vegas. That's an interesting concept. Maybe tone down the action, turn up the horror. Not the gore, the horror of it. All right, Reggie, take us out.
All right. So I can do mine rather quickly because mine is technically 3 movies in one, but it is. Because that's how I roll. Because it shows you what you can do when you got no budget, a little bit more budget, and then all the budget.
Go ahead.
And I've talked about all these films already. So hopefully you should know what I'm talking about already. Because if not, well, it's time to get groovy, baby. It's The Evil Dead. Because, dude, the first one, it was so good and so campy. And they tried to take it so seriously. And you could tell that they were putting everything. Yes. They're putting his name into this. Mm-hmm. And Sam was like, look, I don't got a budget. You're my friends. Let's do this. This is a horror movie right here. The first one is pure horror. Like, dude, your friends are being possessed one by one.
Yes.
You cut your freaking hand off because it's possessed. Like, this is all just like, you see your sister possessed by a demon skipping in the woods like it's nothing. That's going to freak anyone out.
I just want to say before he continues, if you have a weak stomach, do not watch these movies, and especially do not watch the remake. Go ahead.
Dear God, do not watch the remake.
Do-
Or the TV show.
Oh, the TV show.
Or the TV show. Dude, so good.
So good.
Mhm.
So good. But yes, this, dude, I can go on about the Evil Dead trilogy, quadrilogy, whatever you want to call it. I enjoy it. I am here for
Universe.
it. I'm here for just about everything Sam Raimi does. I am here for everything Bruce Campbell does, even the campy sci-fi movies that he did on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm here for it all. This is where it started. This is that one horror movie I watched as a kid where I actually sat there like, it looks like this could really happen. Old cabin in the woods, random reel to reel in the original version. Scary ass book made out of human skin. Hell no. And they just reading out of it like it's the thing to do. I can see this happening. Bruh, no. Like this series, it just gets me. Like, I can watch it. I can watch all four of these movies back to back repeatedly, days on end, because it was just that good for me. It was campy, it was horror, and then when they redid it, because technically Evil Dead 2 is the remake of Evil Dead 1 with a budget.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing. I'm like, Ash is not dumb enough to go back to the same cabin with the same car and have the same things happen again. Because who does that? That's why, like, in the show, they make it out to where it happened one time, and he just happened to chainsaw all of his friends and sister into pieces.
I would take part of something like this if it really happened. Yo, Greg, I respect you. You know what? In our day and age, sometimes what we need are victims. And I would volunteer you. You know what I'm saying? And I think you'd make it pretty far. I don't know if you'd survive, but I think you'd make it pretty far.
True, Greg would make it pretty far.
I feel like he would. I feel like he would. Like, just like Cabin in the Woods, I feel like I would meet Sigourney Weaver, but I'd still die. You know what I'm saying?
But dude, like, this was so
amazing.
good. Like, there was a creepy chick in the basement. She stayed in that basement for most of the movie before they even knew she was down there.
Yo.
And it's like, what's in the basement? Swallow your soul. You're all gonna die. Like, what the hell is that? What is that? Like, come on. These movies, like, the first two, I would get far or I would survive. The third one, I'm dying. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in that one. That one was, man, it was just nope. I'm just gonna die. I'm gonna die. I may have been the person like, you know what? F all this. I'm just gonna leave, and whatever's in the woods, you can take me so I can have an epic end to however this is gonna end. I might take someone with me. My apologies, but hey, it is what it is.
They I'm not even gonna say it here, but there was some messed up ways people have died in the woods. Particularly, I'm thinking of the one for the first one.
With his sister, the way it started, we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's not. All right, let's go forward. Yeah.
So, like, all of these have just this intense. It could happen. You could see this happening. That's where the horror comes in with me with these. I could see this happening. Some dude left a random reel to reel in the first one. It was a tape player in the second one. It was a tape player in the third one. Like, and then you start reading this or watching this, and you're like, why are you letting random Latin phrases happen in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night? Who lets this happen? Who? Don't let this happen. Yeah. Don't. And I am not surviving this movie at all.
The remake, no one. Well, the remake's remake, no one is surviving. No,
except for this Ash, she survives.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm not surviving. Like, bruh, I watched this one. Like, I own this one. I've owned every single one of these movies multiple times throughout their different runs. The only one I didn't have was the Evil Dead 2 Necronomicon edition. That one's my grail. It's like the plush Necronomicon DVD case, and you open it up and it's got the movie in there. That one's the only one I've never owned. But
okay.
These movies, like, this is horror. These are the type of horror movies that I enjoy watching.
I will say this:
it's a little comedy,
yeah.
It's a little gore, but it's all horror. It's gonna draw you in.
Von Dagger has had enough, and he decided he's noped out of here. He's nope.
I noped him out. I've gotten rid of him.
Welcome back, Von Dagger.
So yeah, this is my jam right here, and the two of us. Oh, and he's gone again. And me and Eric, we've watched the shit out of these movies together. Like, okay. I hate the name drop like this, but he and I have a friend that we went to high school with that we made movies with in high school and shortly after high school, who has gone on to bigger and better things, such as Spider-Man and Fantastic Four movies.
Nice.
So we watch these kind of movies, and this is what we got some inspiration for. Like, there's a scene in one of our movies that we accidentally lost where my character literally just loses it. He just hears one word and he loses it. It's the word cat. And it's a time lapse of his lunch just being eaten. He's eating it, but he gets stuck and just watching. And that scene, I really drew that inspiration for that scene from this movie, because it was just a time lapse of just something random and freaky happening. And I'm like, let me do some Evil Dead in this. Yeah, let me bring that into this. And, you know, these movies inspire. Like, this would be me right here. Like, oh, this is happening. That'd be the face I'd make right there. And then I'd die.
Oh my goodness.
Then I would die.
I don't. Patrick brings up a good point. I don't think I would live through a horror movie. I would die saving someone else. I think that's admirable, Patrick. Greg would probably be the one you save. I will pray for you. You know, I will remember you.
Yeah, so yeah, this is my jam right here. So these are my picks. These are my remakes and originals that I like.
Great.
So this is.
Does that mean lunch never ends? Like I get to eat forever, and I get
no. The lunch was eaten. It was just time lapse, and in his brain, it wasn't him picking it up and eating it. It was just his food was being eaten, and he was like, "What the hell's happening?" So yeah.
Thank you once again, people, for joining us on our episode. Reggie, those were amazing picks. I'm not gonna lie to you. You probably have the best picks for me personally, because I love that. I low-key love that series, particularly the remake with the new Ash.
Mm-hmm.
She killed it. And she killed it. She killed it. It's an amazing film, guys. Go check that out.
Please do.
Reggie, take us out, because
Yes,
I want to keep talking.
Got you. Well, this was our show. He's not going to hear me, but go ahead and thank our guest for me, Mr. Ussie. No.
Dr. Ussie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Ussie Myers.
Eric, it has come to our attention that we would like to thank you for coming and making your presence known, and also adding to our episode. We hope to have you again, Mr. Lopez. We hope to have your knowledge. Reggie says you're the best friend he's ever had, and you know what? He's going to give you a cake.
He believes
he's also going to pay the $20 that he owes you. Go ahead, Reggie.
Oh, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this was our episode. Tell us what you think. Like, subscribe, comment, talk to us. You see we're interactive with the people. There we are right there on your screen, being and all that good jazz. But yes, please do. We love when you guys speak with us. We love getting your comments on the show. We love doing the show.
We love your feedback.
Yes.
Especially when it's directed to the gentleman sharing the screen with me.
Yes. Join us every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're always here. Sometimes Burgie's here. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes Lady Sid has got to go do other work.
The
Sometimes
shade
people have
never
the
stops. It just never stops. It's always sunny here. There's something always in the way.
Something, yes. But thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Watching.
We are the 4-Letter Nerd, brought to you by Hyro Geekix Unlimited. Go buy our merch and our comics. They're dope. Trust me.
We need Greek letters, because he says that like he joined a fraternity. He's Hyro Geekix Unlimited.
Yeah, I gotta put that flair. I gotta have that flair.
I was about to say HGU. We need HGU merch.
See, I've been thinking. See, thank you for saying. I've been thinking that we need that HGU. I'm like, I need to make a logo of that so we can put it on merch.
You know.
So now I got to work on it. Next project in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Lady Sid, Dr. Uzi Myers Mayhem, Erica Von Daga Lopez, and I am Candy Main, Ra Sun God. Thank you for watching. We will see you all next time. We're always going to bring the heat. We're always going to bring it. So thank you and enjoy.